Good morning.
How are you?
All right, and yourself?
I am well. I am well.
Good.
You would think, since I've been up since about 6 o'clock, I
It
would be winding down. I think I just started. I don't know. How was your week?
was pretty good. It went by fast, thank goodness.
Yes, yes. Always a blessing when we can be like, woof, it's gone. It's over. Look
Hmm.
at you with a little cup. Hold up. Wait a
I
minute.
showed you last week.
I know, but it just surprises me because I'm used to the big bottle
Oh.
of whatever, just be shaking it. Like, there we go. That's what I'm used to seeing. Now we got the little cup. All right, all right, all right. It's funny because off topic. At our senior center, we had a tea party this past Thursday, and it was so cute. They were so cute. We had gloves and different teas and the tiers where they ate off the layers and cucumber sandwiches. And it was just, they was doing the little fingers. And then we learned that doing your little finger is rude in real tea etiquette culture. We was like, I said, and so, wait a minute. So we were doing puzzles and, um, and so I was like, okay, these answers, Black people do things a little different. We always put our own little stamp of whatever it is that we're going to do. So just because we do this don't mean that you're supposed to do this when you go to over the pond. Okay. So but the funny thing was it was another question. I can't think of it off the top of my head. All of them answered the same, which was wrong, which according to tea etiquette. I was like, see, here's another example of Black people gonna put their own stamp on it. Because they were all like, well, this is what I know. It's not, there's no right or wrong answers. I'm just telling you the answers that we have for these puzzles. All right, all right. But we had a good time. It was a good time. Good
Good.
time. And they was dressed up, had their little hats on. The men came in suits and hats. It was a time had by all. Cool, cool, cool. All right, all right. Well, I guess we'll get this party started. Welcome everyone to our Saturday morning tea. Here we brew up the hottest topics in healthcare. We discuss health information, news, education, tea party etiquette, how fast the week is flying. The year will be gone before we know it. Two quick blinks and it's over.
Yep.
Certification, right? Certification tips and entrepreneurship, the revenue cycle at large. Now, as you come in, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and like button. It helps get us in the algorithm. All right. I'm Clarice Warner, the girl with the pearls, the founder and senior education director of the Professional Reimbursement Network, LLC, where coding education is key. And PRN is a healthcare compliance consultancy located in Cincinnati, Ohio, that specializes in revenue cycle and regulatory compliance and education, all of things. And let me ask, do you know what it takes to be a certified marketable medical coder? Do you? Well, before I introduce my co host, let me share with you information on a free email course on the 5 steps to become a certified marketable medical coder.
Are you interested in medical coding, but not sure where to start? And scared of wasting time and resources? Let me help you with the right steps to become a certified marketable medical coder. Learn more at bit.ly/5stepscoder.
Hey, if you're interested in getting more information about the 5 steps to become a certified marketable medical coder, check the video description for the link. Joining me today is my partner in success, my co host, Mr. Jesse, the registered trademark. Put some respect on his name, the coding nurse. Sir, introduce yourself and tell the folks all about you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jesse. Excuse me. I live in Philadelphia. I've been in healthcare for a long time. In 2014, I left the bedside and transitioned into risk adjustment coding. And during the pandemic in 2020, I created a company, the Coding Nurse LLC, where I help nurses and other people in healthcare with a clinical background transition into the wonderful world of HIM.
And how's that going, sir?
It's coming along.
Okay, okay. You need another sip of something, whatever it is you're sipping
No,
on.
I don't know what's.
I know, because I'm a
still
little
stuffy.
raspy over here
Yeah.
myself. I don't know what is happening in these streets. I don't know, but it better go away and stop. I want to share. So one of my teas, I have multiple. When we have certain topics, I got to add several tea bags to the brew. But the Yogi tea says, and I just love this: let the opportunities come to you. Come on now, come through. That's a word all by itself. That's a whole word. All right. Good morning, Crafty Coder, our on the street correspondent. Good morning. Good morning. All right. All right. So before we jump in, let me remind you that you can join in and add to the conversation. So don't be shy. Your opinion matters and is always welcomed here. So friends, use the chat. If you have a question, the only thing that we ask is that you put a Q first if it's a question for us, so we know it's for us and we won't miss it. So for those who are just joining us or watching the replay, today we are talking RADV could be simple, but $100 million says no. But first, let's get into our church announcements, shall we? Hey, hey. Okay, my stuff is going crazy over here. All right, all right. Turn my music down. All right, all right. So let's see. Church announcement that I have. So I don't know if you saw this, and I said we would probably do. We'll talk about it probably maybe next week. The sepsis, they're doing something with sepsis or changing how a sepsis protocol, something regarding sepsis. But I know it is a reflection of the SOFA, which is the sequential organ failure assessment. And so they are updating that. So it's now the SOFA 2 score. And it pretty much describes organ dysfunction in critically ill patients and its association with intensive care unit mortality. And so I saw it's a journal article, so it's one of those well-researched documents. But I saw one, and I think I saw something else that talked about its relationship to sepsis. So be on the lookout for that. We'll talk a little bit about that soon. And there's a whole thing how they have the different stages and they updated those and all of the things. So we'll kind of peek at and walk through that. So that's my church announcement. Mr. Jesse, you have any?
Well, that'll be an interesting church announcement, because when I tell you, I have to review sepsis at least a couple times every day. So
Okay.
that'll be an interesting conversation.
Yes, and I'll make sure I'll get it to you early. How about that? Like in my mind, I'll be thinking about all of this on Tuesday. Wednesday, I'll be like, yay. And then something always comes up and it's like, okay, well, I'll be dropping everything on Friday. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. And you do talk a lot about sepsis. And so that made me even more excited to share the information.
I'll have to do some research to find out when it hits, because currently, a lot of facilities use SOFA 3.
Mhm.
So, and it's, believe it or not, it's a lot harder to meet than people think. I mean, it really does show systemic, organ dysfunction, because
Mm-hmm.
it covers a lot of it covers like 6 areas,
Mm-hmm.
6 parts of the body. So
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing. Anyway, I don't want to get into it early, but I'll wait. It'll be a good conversation.
Yes. I'll be like, yes, go, Mr. Jesse, take it, run with it. Sofa's down. Let's get in, go on the sofa. All right. I told you I've been up too early. So I'm asking for grace early beforehand, because I feel the tickle bone in my spirit. All right. Let me stop this and stop that. And let's get in. All right. So for those who are, well, let the tea spilling begin. There you go. Welcome back to the Saturday Morning Tea, where we serve up the real talk our profession needs. I'm Clarice Warner, the girl with the pearls, with my partner in success, the coding nurse. And hopefully you have your hot brew, because you are in for quite the conversation today. And today's topic, RADV, could be simple, but $100 million says no. I'm here with my steaming cup of tea and some seriously important information. Again, something that every medical coder, CDI specialist, and compliance professional needs to hear today. Whew. When I woke up this morning, and yes, it was around 6 a.m., and the things that I think about at 6 a.m., I was thinking about how our industry loves to overcomplicate things. But honestly, when it comes to these RADV audits, it could really all be so simple if we just understood what we're dealing with and get ahead of the curve instead of scrambling after the fact. Nothing burns my britches more than reactions when, there are several opportunities to be proactive. Let's be proactive, folks. What do you think? All right. So today we're talking about the risk adjustment data validation audits, aka RADV. Or if I like to call them, the wake-up call that's coming whether you're ready or not. And trust me, you want to be ready. So let's talk about that. Again, we're going to start with some real talk. I've been diving deep into this latest RADV audit report, and I have to tell you, the numbers are staggering, and we're not talking about small potatoes here. Picture this scenario. CMS, and Mr. Jesse, to jump in, however, whenever. CMS randomly selects just 201 member records from a health plan with 50,000 members. Their auditors find problems with just 8% of those diagnoses. Maybe diabetes coded with complications, but no specific complication documented. Or chronic kidney disease based on a single lab value without confirmatory testing. Now, an 8% error rate doesn't sound catastrophic, right? But here's where it gets interesting. And by interesting, I mean potentially devastating. CMS will take that 8% and extrapolate it across the entire 50,000 member population using statistical models that can result in repayment demands exceeding $100 million. Yes, you heard that right. 100 million. I need what was it? We'd be like $100 billion.
Yeah.
From reviewing fewer records than most of us process in a typical week. And here's what keeps me up at night, thinking about our profession. This isn't theoretical anymore. The current administration has committed to completing all remaining RADV audits for payment years 2018 through 2024 by early 2026. Yes, that's a very aggressive goal. But we've seen worse, right? They're expanding their workforce from 40 to approximately 2,000 medical coders and leveraging technology to review up to 200 records per health plan annually. The estimated overbilling between 17 and 43 billion annually. And CMS is done playing nice. They taking off the gloves. They ready. They like, come on, come on. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, thank you. Phoenix says sepsis talk is coming right on time. You both are awesome. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you.
So let's talk, or let's break down what this really means for us in the trenches. I've got 5 key points that should be on every coder and CDI professional's radar.
What?
Go ahead.
Before you get into that, like, I just
Yes.
wanted to talk about the extrapolation because when people, because like you would think, oh, well, 201 records is really not enough, but it really is, because
Mhm.
what they do is everybody, yeah, everybody is. When they audit risk adjustment, they break it down into 3 categories of records that they review. So that 201 charts is representative of their entire population. So when they whatever error rate they come up with, it truly would be representative of that health plan's documentation,
Mhm.
because every category of care that's provided for all their members is represented in that sample.
Mhm. And we as auditors know it don't take all day to recognize sunshine or rain for that matter. You can take and begin to see patterns after 3-4 records going in. And so it's easy to identify and account for those errors. And you're right, it is a representative sample of all of the people. So yeah. But then the people don't think about what that dollar figure looks like across all those people. And that's where it's like, oh, wait a minute, stop. So point 1, the $3,400 question. The 20 most common CMS HCCs increase payment by either $1,000 to $5,500 per beneficiary, averaging about $3,400 per year. Every single diagnosis code that is assigned has real financial impact. So when we code an 80-year-old male with diabetes without complications, we're adding $1,284 to his annual payment. Add vascular disease, and we're looking at $3,620 more. The question is, are we coding and documenting with this financial reality in mind? Because CMS certainly is when they're auditing us. Point 2, statistical warfare versus clinical reality. Here's where it gets a little fascinating. RADV has evolved way beyond just medical review. We're talking sophisticated mathematical modeling that rivals what hedge funds use. The extrapolation methodology becomes a battlefield where each choice can swing final numbers by millions of dollars. I read about one organization that discovered through simulation that their actual risk varied by $40 million, depending on which sampling methodology CMS chose. 40 million. And most plans don't have the statistical expertise to even understand, let alone challenge these methodologies. Part 3, the Cigna wake-up call. Y'all remember Cigna, right? That $172 million settlement with Cigna in 2023 wasn't just about one plan. It exposed something systemic. They were over-relying on health risk assessments and chart reviews conducted by the plan or third-party vendors rather than the enrollees' own providers. The OIG found instances where diagnoses used for risk adjustment appeared only on HRAs without any corroboration from service records. And here's the kicker. That $172 million is just a fraction of the estimated $7.5 billion in overpayments associated with these types of errors in 2023 alone. Point 4, predictive patterns. This is where it also gets exciting for us data nerds. Leading organizations are using machine learning models. Y'all heard that word several times that can predict RADV failure with 78% accuracy. They're identifying documentation patterns that are invisible to human reviewers. Certain diagnosis combinations consistently raise red flags, not because they're clinically implausible, but because providers chronically fail to document them properly. It really could all be so simple if we just understood these patterns and addressed them proactively. And point 5, the continuous audit revolution. The smartest plans aren't treating RADV as something that happens to them anymore. They're building real-time dashboards, tracking documentation completeness, provider level risk scores, and coding pattern anomalies. When something looks suspicious, they investigate immediately, not 3 years later when CMS comes knocking. No, they're trying to be in front of all of the foolishness that could potentially come down the pipe. Mr. Jesse?
I was
Okay.
agreeing.
So here's some questions that we need to ask. And I want you to really think about these questions because they're going to determine whether your organization thrives or struggles in this new reality. Question 1, if CMS audited your documentation today, could you predict your error rate within a 95% confidence interval? Or are you just flying blind out here? Well, most organizations can't answer this, and that's a problem. You should know your risk profile as well as you know your morning tea order. Question 2, when you code diabetes with complications, but can't clearly identify the specific complication in the record, are you contributing to the $17 billion problem?
Yes.
This hits, right. This hits at the heart of clinical integrity. We have to be honest about our documentation support. Question 3, how often do your HRAs capture diagnoses that never appear in corresponding service records? This is the Cigna problem in miniature. If you're seeing diagnoses only on risk assessments without clinical validation, you're in a dangerous territory and you plan with the church's money. Question 4, are you documenting and coding defensively with RADD in mind, or just hoping to avoid the audit lottery? Hope is not a strategy, people. We need intentional, proactive approaches. And finally, question 5, what would happen if your organization implemented surprise internal mock audits with no warning? Celebration or panic? One plan I know dropped their error rate from 11% to 3% in 6 months using this exact approach. All right, y'all, here's where the rubber meets the road. So I've identified 3 strategic pivots. You know, I'm all about the pivot. You know, we even do a pivot in a line dance. All right. That every medical coder and CDI specialist needs to make. And it could really all be so simple if we just commit to these changes. Pivot 1, from reactive compliance to predictive analytics. I know I'm knocking all on your door, sir. Stop waiting for problems to find you. Here, we want opportunities to find you, not problems. Here are 3 actionable steps you can start this week. First, implement monthly mock audits using actual CMS methodology on random samples. Don't announce them. Don't prepare. Just pull the records and audit them like CMS would. Second, create documentation gap tracking systems for each provider. Use simple spreadsheets. You know we love us some Excel. But track the patterns. Which providers consistently, yeah, there you go. Which providers consistently miss medication reconciliation? Who struggles with complication specificity? You can have all the information that you need from your people at your fingertips without somebody else coming in to determine what your issues are. Know your issues. We all got issues in our house. Make sure we know what they are. Third, develop risk scoring algorithms for your most frequent diagnosis patterns. I know this sounds fancy, but it could be as simple as a checklist system that flags high-risk combinations. Pivot 2, from individual chart review to pattern recognition. Now, we need to think bigger than one chart at a time. Your action steps. First, establish benchmarking against regional coding patterns. If your peripheral vascular disease rate is 400% higher than similar demographics in your area, you need to understand why and make sure it's right. Second, use natural language processing tools or even manual scanning to identify common documentation insufficiencies. Look for patterns like diabetes without type specification, or again, medication lists that don't support reported diagnoses. Third, create provider-specific feedback loops. Don't just audit and move on. Create targeted education. Didn't we just talk about this last week? Create targeted education based on individual patterns. And pivot 3, from siloed documentation to integrated validation. This is about connecting the dots across all your data sources. So build some cross-verification processes between HRAs, the claims, and clinical records. No diagnosis should exist in isolation. Establish medication reconciliation protocols for every chronic condition you're coding. No meds, no code. It should be that simple. Create real-time alerts for acute diagnosis codes that require substantiation. If someone codes acute stroke, your system should flag it for validation against inpatient claims or imaging results. So here's the bottom line. RADV audits aren't going anywhere anytime soon. They're getting bigger, more sophisticated, and more financially devastating. We're already talking about the financial implications and the financial struggles and problems that our healthcare organizations are facing. Add this on top of that and think about it. What a whole hot mess we're looking forward to, or not. But here's what I know about us. We're problem solvers. We're detail oriented. We're the people who make healthcare work behind the scenes. So this challenge, it could all be so simple if we just get proactive instead of reactive. And start with one pivot. Again, implement one actionable step this week and build from there. Remember, we're not just protecting our organizations, we're elevating our profession and providing our value in an era of increasing scrutiny. What you think? Yes, $40 million, ma'am, with the mind blown. That's a lot. Go ahead. I heard you take a whole deep breath in.
I mean, it sounds nice. It really does. But the problem will be because all of this, because you can have all the systems in the world, you can have all of the workflow in the world, but if you don't work on documentation, it's not gonna move the needle. Because I say it all of the time. I have never worked for a facility that had better policies and procedures than audit companies. Audit companies have policy up the behind.
Yep.
And they stick to it.
Yep.
And audit companies are like the IRS. Like the IRS doesn't come knock until they know they got you.
They'd be like, hey, got one.
And having worked for audit companies, when I tell you, you have checklists that you have to go through before you say this is not that. And people and if facilities went back to that, because you have everything comes down to, like, in facilities, people don't want to ruffle the doctor's feathers. Like, doctors get away with murder.
I was on my soapbox last week about this.
Yeah. and then they wonder why these facilities have to pay back so much money, and they want to act like. And then I'm not saying that healthcare companies aren't greedy, because the entire healthcare system in the United States is for profit. So anything, if they
Forget
can
what you
get
heard, nonprofit and all.
right,
Forget what you heard.
if they can get a couple pennies back, they're going to do it.
Mhm.
But all you have to do is document appropriately, then they can't. Like, I mean, I review claims every day that are rock solid and supported. And I also review claims every day that, like, where did this come from? Like, no, you really tried it. And I don't put a lot of it, I don't put on the provider because providers aren't coders.
Absolutely.
There are some claims that I have looked at for years that should have never left the facility ever. Like, how do you do? Like, no. But I know, having worked for facilities, why they get those claims out regardless, and they like, oh, well, we'll just fix it on the back end. But why?
But why?
Why not just send it out when it's right? You have 90 days if it's a commercial claim. You have a year if it's a Medicare, Medicaid. So take your time. But
Baby,
they don't.
do it right. See, you got me in my take your time. Do.
Because if they did it that way, they would probably, some of these facilities wouldn't even need appeals departments. Because facilities have whole denial and appeal departments.
Because there's so many things that are coming back denied because of the errors that could have all been avoided. It could all be so simple, right? And to your go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I would just piggyback off of your point. At the end of the day, it's about documentation. Address the documentation and the documenter. Address them.
You have to tell your providers that for chronic conditions, you have to put more than stable is not, that's not documentation. Stable how? Stable why? Stable, stable because of, A1C is whatever. Show that you reviewed something. Show that you addressed the condition. Stable on current dose of medication and state the medication in the dose.
Right. It can be simple. All be so simple. But again, and we say this was one of the kind of mantras that folks would tell providers, like think and eat. Like, we know that you're processing it. We know that you know these things, and we know kind of based on what you're saying, what your mindset is and what your plans are. But that's because we work with you and we audit you and we, code your documentation. You got to talk to people that don't know you, don't know this patient, but you're speaking for what happened when you encountered this patient. You got to put it out there. You got to think like an attorney. Put it out there. Tell it all. And there are ways to concisely do this documentation. But you got to tell it all. You got to spell it out. It should be crystal clear to anybody who picks up that documentation to know, oh, this is here and they were thinking this and da-da-da-da-da, because the documentation suggests it. It tells it. You can track and trend. You can go back. Oh yeah, this medication is listed on their medication list. And this is what they're taking. And this is the dose. And this is why the physician and their, to your point, and their A1C numbers are stable. So yes, they are stable with this information that we've provided in this documentation. Just put it out there. You over. Look, I was about to give rah-rah. All of this documentation burden is because you're not doing your job in the first place. So somebody got to keep tapping on your shoulder like, could you, and you tired of that. Well, get so tired that you change the way you move and that you document appropriately from the beginning. You wouldn't have these problems. People wouldn't be sending you queries, wouldn't be in your inboxes, it would be none of that. Handle your business, do your job, sir and ma'am. Do your job.
And I think also a part that never gets talked about is a lot of the gap really comes from not having the right people in the right positions. Because I've been saying it for years on this podcast. I really think that more coders should really, really, really consider data analytics, because the people who are in data analytics are not coders. They really, really don't know how this works. And if you ask the wrong question, you're going to get the wrong data.
Mm-hmm.
And
Garbage in, garbage out.
the only people whose data program is working is CMS.
And it's working well.
Because I'm telling you, and it's not, and it could all be so simple.
Come on with it.
And the thing that has boggled my mind specifically about risk adjustment, well, actually anything related to CMS, is CMS will tell you what the problems are. They put out a list every year what their top 10 most misdiagnosed codes are, and they tell you why. So, but the thing
And how to fix it.
But the thing is, but if you have people who don't know how to go to the website, how to download, because they even have that spreadsheet that I sent you, you can program CMS has API keys that you can program into your system that it could flag those conditions for a second review. You could do it before they even come calling.
And that's what
gotta
we're
do.
even discussing. Be proactive. You don't have to wait until they tell you. Know your own stuff. Know your house.
But A, if you don't know if you don't know it exists, and B, you don't know how to do it, that's your problem. I'm telling you, like I just think that the sweet spot is for coders to get into data analytics, and a lot of this would change. And you have to get people in these HIM positions who are able to get in front of these middle and upper level managers and speak truth to power.
Maybe redistribute that back end, denial group to a front end data analytics piece that can help kind of flag the things before they go out the door.
But the thing is, but you have to find people. Well, you have to find people who are willing to do it, because it's a whole different process from coding. But you need a coding back. If you have a coding background, you can be so invaluable. And I've been talking about this for a minute, because I'm telling you, in 2019, that's when I saw how powerful a coding knowledge and data analytics knowledge can be. And it is not talked about anywhere nearly enough in HIM. And I really believe that just like these facilities have training programs and onboarding programs for coders, when they're onboarded, they need to create a position where they train coders for data analytics. I just think that would be awesome.
Well, we have a data analytics class. I'm just going to throw us out there. But I think most programs, most school programs do, because it's part of the competencies for their accreditation. And so it's not robust, but it's just enough to introduce. Eventually they would need to go and get some real, but it provides an opportunity for you to see, because for me, I like to give everything out. Here are all the different things. Here's a little sampling of all the things that you can go into from this health information umbrella, and data analytics is one of them. And so we provide the opportunity for them to get their feet wet, if you will, a little bit.
Right. I mean, that's fine for a school situation, but I mean, like, people really need to know. You have to go beyond a pivot table. Like that's cute. Right. Absolutely. That's cute, but a pivot table is that's not even scratching the surface. But what you can do with data analytics, like, you got to know, like, because these health plans have millions of rows of records.
Mm-hmm.
And you had, that's why Excel is a good foundation, but Excel can only do 1 million rows. That's why you need to know SQL and Python, because they can do tens of millions of rows, and how to get that information, because all you're doing is using the knowledge from Excel to then extrapolate that to SQL to do that same thing, but on a much larger scale.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to know how to write code to do it.
So there was a question. It's like, what is a code claim editor tool? So those are like scrubbers, right? Where they're scrubbing the claim to make sure that everything, all the fields are completed appropriately, and there are no errors on your claim. But then this would be deeper, because this is the actual documentation,
right?
And so
validity.
Yes, and this is checking the documentation against that information on that claim. So your scrubber just does that initial kind of pass through to make sure everything looks okay. They're not actually drilling down. It's like, okay, it looks good, send it on. And then, of course, the magic happens once that claim hits that payer, and then they go through and do the deep dive or not, and pay or not, or what have you. And then the rest of the work happens on the back end.
And that's a really good question, because there are a lot of people in HIM who don't understand the difference between a rejection and a denial. See, a claim editor tool will reject the claim, but but a denial is something completely different.
It's been processed.
Right.
That rejection, they ain't even got to the processing part. They just was like, nope, send it back. Send it back. That's right. Don't be afraid, or don't be scared to stand your ground. Absolutely. Which is front end editing is so important for correct coding. Provider needs to take just a little more time. Education to providers should not be intimidating. Nope. And if you can't do it, you might want to reconsider your life. No, I'm kidding. Reconsider your career, especially if you are in one of those roles where part of your role requires you to have conversations with providers. And they might not be the warm and fuzzy conversation that you think you need to have. Let the people know. I don't know what CHY.
Oh, child.
Folks, rejection bucket speed, 1 million.
But that's a process problem.
Yeah.
On a whole lot of levels.
Yep. Yeah.
And there are a lot of people who are out here, especially like these smaller practices, like they're out here like flailing. Because they don't know what I think they know, but they don't know how to fix it, because they're in places, and they got their, somebody that they know, involved in their revenue cycle, and they just don't get it. Like there is a serious lack of revenue cycle education in coding. Like a lot of people don't understand how it all comes together, how it starts, and how and where it starts, and how and where it ends, and the part that they play in that.
And how what they do on one end ultimately impacts what happens on the other end.
A lot of people really don't understand it, and it's because I just think that there are too many women in the kitchen at this point, and we really just need to get back to basics and start all over.
So they can cook right. Let her cook.
That's right. Like you come put that spoon down and go start the laundry. Go do something else.
You don't belong in these kitchens. No. Get out.
That's
They're
right.
not for you.
We got something else for you.
It's all right. We'll keep you busy.
Yeah, because this is not your ministry.
No. And it's okay. You're absolutely right about that. And these smaller organizations are really better prepared to do this kind of work. But to your point, they don't have the people there. The knowledge base is cousin Skeeter over there ain't did nothing with no codes. They just got a list. Here go all the codes that we use. Please put these on all of the stuff and put it in there and send it on out.
Then you have people, oh, I know Excel, but you can do one Excel formula. That's, no.
Be like, yeah, we love, and we in HI love us some Excel spreadsheets for everything. But it's not just something that you're supposed to use as a database manager. No, it's more than that. Use it for what it's supposed to be for.
And at the end of the day, it is supposed to help you with useful information.
Yes,
Not,
yes. Yes, I did say Skeeter.
not just a bunch of fluff, but that's, I mean, and then, I don't know. People are just missing opportunities. They really, really are.
Yeah. And think about how helpful you could be just with some basic or a little bit beyond the basic. How about that? A little bit beyond the basics in getting some of the data, using the data that your data and saying, look, sir, ma'am, look this is what we're doing here. You talk about we don't have the money to do X, Y, Z. Your money's sitting right here. Here's your money. Put that in your CFO's ear. I bet you they turn around and be like, well, could you, excuse me, say it again, sir, ma'am, what?
Because what would really set the whole industry on fire, and I would love to see it, but it will never happen, is because you have heard about all of these tech workers who are being laid off. If they would take just an ICD-10-CM coding course and use that knowledge and come into like healthcare data analytics, it would be amazing. But it won't work for a lot of reasons, because having had like a data analytics tutor for 2 years, how they think is not how coders think, because they are coders in their own right, but they think everything is Googleable. No, some stuff you have to, with coding, you got to know it. You can't Google codes, sir, ma'am. That's not how that works.
Play around if you want to. You're gonna mess around and find out. Because $100 million and find out.
I had before I got the tutor, I had a tutor tell me that. Well, I don't know coding, but I could figure it out. Just like I Googled this, I can Google that. So you think it's that easy? Okay.
And a lot of people think that even when they come into this profession. Well, all it is just looking up this and finding that. Okay. And then what you do?
I say
what's the next step? What's the next step?
I say it all the time. It never fails. Every coding class I had, when I tell you, like, I've had nurse practitioners, I didn't have master's degree level RNs. Listen, when I tell you, every class, they be looking like deers in the headlights, like, oh my God, this is so hard. Oh my God. I'm like, people think it's just looking stuff up in a book. If it was that easy, I wish it was, but it's not.
And I've had a class, I had an actual class of providers, of physicians. And they were like, I was like, that's why y'all need to stay over here in medicine. But you see why we need your documentation. It became a whole different class at one point. You see why your documentation is important? You see how what you write down or what you put into your EMR impacts what it is that I can do or your coders can do? Do you see where this connection comes in? They were like, oh my God, yes. You see how then that impacts the dollars of your organization? And if you are independent or a small practice, do you see how you missing all kinds of money and leaving money on the table? Do you understand? They were like, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Crazy work. Lynn said something about they wish providers would stop making their spouses their coders. No, you can keep making them their coders, but send them to a coding class.
Thank
Send
you.
them and get them trained. Get your girl, get her trained. It's okay.
And-
you train her for everything else, get her trained for this too.
And have them come to a class with an open mind. Like, I don't care that because when you have people, oh, well, I've been doing this for years. Okay, you've been doing it wrong for years. Nobody cares how long you've been doing it. You don't do it right. Are you doing it right?
I mean, I get the reason behind it. Keep the money in the family. I get it. I'm all for it. But make sure you got the right people doing it. And if they're not necessarily the right people because they don't have the skills to do it, give them what they need so they can help you and help all of y'all overall. That's
But
all.
see, but getting back to these smaller practices, like, you really have to have the right conversations, because you can have a doctor's wife be involved all day long. But my question is, you got to ask the right questions to put people in their places. Okay, what guideline are you referencing? What CPT guideline are you using? Where can you cite this information on the CMS website? So if you can't do that, Marianne, go please your husband at home, but not here.
Oh my God, where's my tea?
Because you're not doing it right. Because you get ready to mess up his money, your money, and his mistress's. Y'all all get ready to be at Kmart.
Sir.
You better sit down somewhere.
Keep it
That's
right.
Stay in your lane.
What you won't do, she will. So maybe she'll go out there and get the coding training and the information that she needs.
Because that's the conversation. Like, listen, you might think you know, but why am I here if you know so much? If you should be flush with cash and you should be audit ready. Why are you talking to me if it's like that?
Amen.
Because you know it's not, and you don't know how, but you don't even want to humble yourself. Go sit there.
Absolutely. And don't buck up. Like, what, man, what do you, ma'am and sir?
And the things that you can buck up and just be right. Hit me with a guideline. Hit me with some proof. Because
no, I'm saying they bucking up in the land of the lost.
Right.
In the land of the lost. Well, this is what we do. And da 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 da. Well, really? And how's that going for you? How's that working out? Because y'all call me why?
And look, and more importantly, can you tell me how much money are you losing in denials? What's that total for the year?
That's look, y'all just don't look at that at all. Y'all don't even pay attention to that. Oh, they done denied another one. Put it over there.
And then you want to blame the insurance company. Okay.
They after us.
Yeah.
They just want to pay us. They just, no, ma'am, no, sir. Know the cycle. Let it work for you. Hilarious. Whew. So many things. So many things. So many questions. Wait a minute.
There you go. Don't yeah, that's right. And the hotel money. That's right.
Oh my God. Y'all killing me.
Somebody got to pay for the boom boom room.
Hey. Oh my goodness. So that's what I used to do to Cantankerous. Where are the guidelines on that, ma'am? Shaking my head. Endless battle.
That's all. Look, show me where. That's all. That's all.
And then when they came, then it's like, okay.
Because one thing's for sure, look, I know how to shut up when I ain't right. And if I come to you, I done already done my research. I'm ready.
Ready.
Look, as my shirt says.
Absolutely. Ready. Then I'm offending her. Okay. Well, be offended, but be paid.
You're offending me. So we both offended, but I'm going to be offended and be right. You're going to be offended and wrong.
Oh, good Lord. I see we're going to have a lovely time in the meeting after the meeting. Because I just need to circle back on a couple of things that has tickled my spirit today.
But before I mean, because have I not been saying for years, Clarice, how easy risk adjustment is?
You have.
It is some of the easiest coding I've ever done in
You
my
have.
life.
You have. You have.
I
To
mean,
us now.
they have very, very clear guideline. Clear. It couldn't be any more clear. And it's only one code set. And you can't do that right? One? You're not round here. Like, I mean, like inpatient, you got to read the op note to make sure that they really did an excisional debridement when they really didn't, and how that affects. Then you got to take it off and see how the DRG changes. Then you got to evaluate some other condition. One code set, and you can't do it right.
One code. Mm-mm. Yes. Wow. Well, this has been great. Hopefully, we gave you some things to think about. Yeah, to pivot,
Hopefully.
some action items, all of the things, all of the things. So this is Clarice Warner, the girl with the pearls, reminding you that we're stronger together in this coding community. So keep coding with integrity, keep learning, and keep being amazing. And Professional Reimbursement Network is here to support you every step of the way. So join our community at Professional Reimbursement Network, LLC. We provide ongoing education, compliance updates, and practical strategies for navigating this complex environment of healthcare revenue cycle. You don't have to figure this out alone. And you can do that. There we go. Look at me trying to get it all together. Right on time. Yes. And you can do that with joining us as one of the PRNT sippers. So are you thirsty for fresh perspectives on the healthcare revenue cycle? So by becoming one of the PRNT sippers, you'll join a community of sharp minds who savor the complexities of the healthcare revenue cycle. Why sip alone when you can steep in knowledge together? Come. Let's spill the tea on industry insights. Here's what you can expect as a valued member of the PRNT sippers. Exclusive healthcare insights, gain access to in-depth articles, webinars, and resources covering the latest healthcare trends, compliance updates, and revenue cycle best practices. Early access, be the first to receive expert insights and guides, ensuring you stay ahead in the ever-evolving healthcare industry. Personalized support, enjoy direct access to our team of experts for guidance on medical coding, compliance issues, and revenue cycle management. We're here to answer your questions and support your professional growth. And my personal favorite, the community connection. Join a private community of healthcare professionals where you can network, share experiences, and collaborate, all while having fun, on finding solutions to common challenges. By supporting us, you're not only advancing your healthcare knowledge and career, but also contributing to the success of the Professional Reimbursement Network, LLC, a resource that empowers healthcare professionals like you to thrive in their roles, goals, and dreams. So thank you for considering becoming a member of the Tea Sippers. For as little as $1 per month, you can join the community. Check out the link in the description of the video, or you can go to bit.ly/the PRN Tea Sippers. Your support means the world to us, and we look forward to helping you excel in the world of health information and healthcare revenue cycle. Yay. So for our Saturday morning tea family, thank you for spending your Saturday morning with us. We know your time is precious, and we don't take it lightly that you chose to spend it here with us at the Saturday morning tea. You know, we're all about building a community of savvy, informed, marketable healthcare professionals. So like, share, subscribe, and comment, and let's grow this community together. Mr. Jesse, do you have any closing thoughts?
Yes.
Okay. All right now.
This is all, as usual, this is, a discussion that is worth having. And I just really want coders in general to just realize that there are whole entire career paths that you can take this coding knowledge and pivot into.
Mhm.
And I've been, on my soapbox about data analytics for a while. And what I have decided to do, you heard it here first,
Uh-oh.
is next year, 2026, I am going to find 6 chapters to do data analytics presentations to for coders.
All
All
right.
right, for the sound effect,
Look at you. All
because I
right.
think a lot of coders don't know, and I think that they think that because any coder, if you can learn these freaking code sets, you can learn data analytics a whole heck of a lot easier. Because the thing about data analytics that I love, the formulas don't change.
Mm-hmm.
This coding, medical coding, that crap changes on a dime.
Done. And we all know it. Be like, but I thought last week we had this guideline, but now you're telling me it's this? Yeah, that happens. Cool. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited. I wanna get in. Let me make sure my chapter knows what's going on so we can get you over here in Cincinnati. Love it.
Telling
Love
you,
it.
because it needs to get out, especially now, because now is there's always a good time, but now especially because there whole large organizations are missing key pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And the transition is not as hard as people think.
Right.
And if you can learn this, you can learn that. Trust me.
Yes. Could learn it all. Congratulations. All right. All right. Well, look at you. So we had an additional announcement after all. I love it. Well, definitely keep us abreast, especially if you do something. But I will pass your information on to the our wonderful chapter here. But let us know, keep us abreast, especially those of us over in the T sippers. Keep us abreast so we can come out and support. We all support each other. All right, all right. Well, keep in mind that excellence is not an accident. It's a choice we make every single day. So tune in next week as we'll be discussing another hot healthcare informational topic that you won't want to miss it. Again, this is Clarice Warner, the girl with the pearls, reminding you to stay educated and stay elevated. And that in healthcare, knowledge isn't just power, it's protection. Remember, be safe, be kind, and don't wish for it. Work for it. Until next time, take care. And to all of our PRNT sippers, see you at the meeting after the meeting shortly. All righty.